Coming to you from deep inside the bowels of a great big empty. Get ready for another episode of The Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show, and I'm your host, Skip Coryell, author of 22 books, Marine Corps veteran, founder of the Second Amendment March, proud father of 7, grandfather to 20 and counting, and as a special bonus, I'm also madly in love with my own wife. My priorities in life are God, family, and country, in that order, and I hereby promise to never compromise in my convictions. I may go broke, but I'll never go woke. And joining me today, as always, is my faithful, adoring, loving co-host, Sara Coryell.
Thank you. It's great to be here, as always, my husband.
You know, it's nice to have a co-host, but when your co-host is beautiful, warm, loving, caring, that's like a whole bag of bonuses.
So I don't think I can live up to all those words, honey. It's
just I think
me.
you already have. But hey, listen, I'm excited about opening day of gun season. And I know you are too, right?
Actually, there's a certain excitement for me on that point. But
what do you mean a certain excitement?
Not what you expect.
The thrill of the chase, the hunt.
Well, you have opportunities to hunt since like the beginning of August.
Well,
that
yeah.
Through the end of December. And after this opening day thing, you actually kind of calmed down about hunting in our home more. So,
well, I hopefully.
It's exciting for me in a totally different, unexpected way.
Oh, so you're excited about.
It's over.
Okay. Well, aren't you glad that I hunt right behind our house here? You know, we have 20 acres. It's like a deer heaven. Well, except that I keep shooting them. But, you know, it's like 20 acres of a bedding area surrounded by corn and soybeans. I mean, you couldn't ask for really a better hunting area. So,
well, and you used to go away to hunt like farther away. So
yeah. So
they have to go all the way to the UP or whatever. It's big, long.
I know. That must be terrible.
Get like one deer a year. Yeah, I got my.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make them. I don't be disparaging of that because that is a big thing. And if you work full time outside the home and that's all you have, that's
there's something about deer camp.
Yeah,
right?
We don't get that experience. Unless we live at deer camp, I guess. But
well, we do live at deer camp, and one thing that I always do that I know you tolerate is when I watch Escanaba into Moonlight with Jeff Daniels.
Yeah, that's your annual.
Yeah, well, I like to watch it the day before opening gun
which happens to be
season.
Today.
Which happens to be today.
For listeners, but for us, it's today.
But I just love that Escanaba into Moonlight because I love the Upper Peninsula anyways. And
me too, actually. We should.
Yeah, well, it feels different up there. The people are different. When you're out in the woods, it smells different.
I think that's what I like, because the woods and the water. Yeah. Like I really, really enjoy Lake Superior.
Well, you like Lake Superior.
It's me. Like I'm from. I grew up near the Pacific Ocean, and
it's like a miniature ocean.
It's not salty, but it has that wild danger to it. It's colder than where I lived. I mean, the Pacific Ocean goes all over the place, but where I lived, it's colder than where I lived. But it's got that wild sense of. You could be lost up here. This is really, really
well, ask the men in the crew of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Yep, it's dangerous.
I love that song, that Gordon Lightfoot song.
You love, okay.
Oh, I do. I love that song. It's like, it's an eerie dirge kind of a thing.
I don't know it that well, sorry.
Oh, well, I'll play it for you afterwards.
You want to sing it first?
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to put our listeners through that, or we won't have any listeners anymore.
Okay.
But hey, folks, wish me a very happy, safe opening gun deer season tomorrow morning.
And you wish
wish them.
Yeah, wish them too.
As well. Yeah, you guys be safe out there. Because there's an army of orange coming over the ridge.
Careful.
I've already got my buck. I'm just going for does tomorrow to finish filling out the freezer. And I promise you, honey, if I fill the freezer tomorrow, no more hunting until 2026. Okay?
That's in about a month and a half.
Well, yeah, but there's no deer season until, next fall. So
Yeah, mushrooms are next. I know.
mushrooms. Oh, don't get me started on morel mushroom season. All right, honey, what's coming up on the show?
Okay. Next, well, today we are talking with Trevor Degroote. He's the owner of Trinity Training and Security and also a newly published author. Are you going to tell him the name of his book or keep everybody in suspense?
Well, I'm going to spring it on him in segment 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Then we'll be talking to the managing partner of shootingclasses.com, Bruce Corey.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good show today, but it's always a good show, really.
Right.
All right. But before we get too far into the show, let's thank our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range, Trinity Training and Security, and Apple Tree Media. Speaking of the United States Concealed Carry Association, we're interviewing Tim Smith next week.
Oh, most excellent.
Which I always love because he's just so friendly. He's suffering from terminal niceness,
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Dear.
Super guy. I just love it, and I love getting caught up with him. So,
Great.
we're
Share that with our listeners.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Sarah, what is in the news today? We got some gun news today, I believe.
Yes, we do. I think they're going to like this story. Or it's an interesting, maybe not like, it's interesting.
I thought it was interesting and a little bit funny.
Yeah, I feel like
our son Chris is going to love this because he hates AI.
Oh, you're giving it away.
Oh, sorry. Well, go ahead.
Okay. AI gun detection system mistakes bag of Doritos for a pistol.
See, you just gave it away.
Shouldn't read the title. On Friday, Baltimore police responded to an Omni alert about a firearm at 5 p.m. at Parkville High School on the 2600 block of Putty Hill Avenue. Police drew their guns on a group of students, holding them at gunpoint. The officers confirmed that none of the students had any firearms, then proceeded to search the school, where they were not able to detect any guns. Last month, at another Baltimore school, police responded to another incident where the system detected a gun and responded with 8 police cars. The student who was detected to have the weapon was handcuffed and searched before police determined that the system had mistaken a bag of Doritos for a handgun. They made me get on my knees, put my hands behind my back, and cuffed me, Kenwood student Taki Allen said about the incident that occurred while he was waiting to be picked up from school after his football practice. They searched me, and they figured out I had nothing. Then they went over to where I was standing and found a bag of chips on the floor, Allen said. The first thing I was wondering was I about to die? Because they had a gun pointed at me, Allen said, saying about 8 cop cars pulled up to the school. I was just holding a Dorito bag. It was 2 hands and 1 finger out, and they said it looked like a gun, Allen said. The maker of the AI gun detection system, OmniAlert, stated that they regretted the incident, but noted that the system worked as intended. This alert isn't the first time a false alert has happened in Baltimore with the system. Last month, the system also detected a gun that turned out to be a false alarm. The system is currently hooked into 7,000 cameras throughout the Baltimore school system and has been in use since 2023. AmmoLand News has been unable to locate a single incident where the system has successfully detected a gun. The company is unwilling to provide the data. Wow, do I have a lot to say? This is horrible.
Well, why don't you start it out?
As if they don't have enough trauma. They're going to public school in Baltimore, Maryland, and now the police have to come and attack them while they're doing nothing but sitting in their chips with
honey,
friends.
In defense of law enforcement,
I am not upset with the police. I'm upset. And they say it's, we regret it, but this is working as intended. Baloney!
Hey,
see them have a heart attack over this.
You're the one who keeps telling me that Doritos aren't good for me.
You're funny. You're very funny. Those poor kids.
I know.
Well, players trying to do the right thing, just being, a guy, and then these 8 cars come and take him down. Yeah. Handcuffs on his knees. Poor kid.
I think sometimes artificial intelligence isn't as intelligent as it should be. But
they don't even really apologize. A little regret, but it's working as intended.
Yeah, we regret. Yeah, that
Poor kid.
But it was working as it was designed.
As in the alert
It
went
was
through?
it was designed so that Doritos look like a gun. That's really bizarre.
I'm sure they're saying that the alert went through. I mean, they got it, like the system was triggered and the police were
I know, but that's not good enough.
it's not good enough. These are real people. This isn't
Yeah.
this is when the computer nerds and the real people, I don't know, these are real people that we're really
Yeah.
affecting, and you can't.
Well, that's true, and these are young people too. And I watched the video
tested.
Of this young boy. You know, he looked to be about 16 or so, being interviewed, and it's like this kid was traumatized.
Yeah.
I mean, guns were pointed at him.
Thinks he's gonna die.
Yeah. Well,
how's he gonna know any better? He lives in Maryland. They make guns out to be horrible, right?
that's right. Doritos, they can be hazardous to your health.
I read this several times trying to figure out how a Dorito bag, 2 hands and a finger looked like a gun. I mean, I kind of, I'm like, am I reading this right? But
I know. Something is seriously wrong. And let's just say AI, they need to do better.
I don't know that cameras are going to do the job all the way. I mean, somebody who's hiding a gun, you're not going to see it anyways. Might be hidden behind their body or moving. How can cameras?
Yeah, well, but OmniAlert, they regretted the incident.
Okay.
But noted that the system worked as intended. I don't know how they can even make that statement. If they intended the system to work this way,
they need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, the flash on a bag of Doritos.
Don't they test it in company before they put it in all the high schools in Maryland first? I mean, I don't know. This is really bad. I'm quite upset for the kids at this point.
Well, this poor kid with Hockey Allen, every time he sees a bag of Doritos now,
he's gonna be afraid to touch it.
That's right. It could. Maybe he'll start eating healthier now.
Well,
that would be good. Of course, he's got PTSD now, but aside from that, you think anybody's going to get sued over this?
I think they ought to be.
Okay, there you go.
There's some serious trauma that they caused, and he's not the only one. This was 3 different incidences that we just read about here.
Yep.
I mean, they're not taking it seriously. Or if they are, they're not publicly taking it seriously. I mean, maybe they are internally. I don't know.
Well, a lawsuit
would make it more serious.
It would make it more serious, and it would motivate OmniAlert to actually make their product work.
Or somebody else. I mean, okay, so if they want better gun detection, then okay. Yeah. But this is not better gun detection. This is traumatize our kids detection. This is horrible.
I love Doritos.
Well, Doritos have nothing to do with it. this is all.
Well, but I have that in my mind now.
Oh,
Doritos.
Sorry. Yeah, I haven't been able to. When I was in high school, that was my favorite. The Cool Ranch Doritos was my favorite.
They have like hot and spicy ones. Those are so good.
Anymore at all.
I know.
Really...
And in honor of you,
can we talk about something else now?
I don't eat them in front of you anymore. In fact, I very seldom eat them.
I can't smell them.
Oh. Now you're making me feel like an alcoholic. I come home and my wife, she smells my breath. Do you got any Doritos on your breath? And
quite that bad.
And she'll go, but you'll go out in the truck. You'll look for like junk food wrappers and things like that.
Trash.
And she'll search the dumpster. I have to dump all of my fast food wrappers at a secret secured location.
This is your story.
It
makes me feel better to have that as your
Hey,
story.
I'm a novelist, so it's my story.
All right.
And I'm sticking to it. All right.
Fun with that story.
You're a sweetheart. You really are. Even if you won't let me eat what I want, it's because you love me, right? All right. Well, hey, enough of that. What about our hero of the week?
Right.
I appreciated this one.
Yeah.
From Seattle, right? This is from Seattle.
It actually sort of
your second home.
Nostalgic in an odd sort of way. I don't know how that worked, but all right. I wonder if we have any listeners in Seattle.
Oh, we might.
Send us an email if you're out in Seattle. We want to know you're there.
There you go.
All right. Armed Citizen 2, Carjackers 0, a Seattle shooting. Woohoo!
That's a good score. That's a really good score.
Shooting two armed would-be carjackers in downtown Seattle has earned kudos from hundreds of people, along with international attention from the Daily Mail, a publication based in the UK with no sympathy at all for the two suspects, who were still under police guard at the Harborview Medical Center. It was a scene which might be expected in an action thriller, but not so much in the Northwest's most far-left metropolis, which appears to have just elected a socialist female mayor. Self-defense advocates and firearms instructors and virtually every other legally licensed citizen in the state are watching this case closely to see how it unfolds, with many people fearing the 24-year-old good guy will face some kind of charge. However, under Washington state's use of force statutes, the would-be victim appears to have acted well within legal parameters. That will be up to the King County Prosecutor's Office, which historically has never made a wrong call on a self-defense shooting, regardless of local politics. AmmoLand News checked with the prosecutor's office, and so far it appears they are waiting for paperwork from investigators. According to Como News, the Seattle-based ABC affiliate, the incident unfolded at about 3:30 a.m. Sunday. The intended victim had parked his late-model Corvette on First Avenue and was approached by four masked suspects in a white sedan. Following a brief conversation, two of the suspects pulled guns and tried to steal the car. Instead, the would-be victim pulled his own legally carried handgun and opened fire, hitting one suspect several times and wounding the second man, who fled with the other two suspects. The seriously wounded suspect remained at the scene and was transported to Harborview after police arrived. The unidentified armed citizen also remained, was cooperating with the police, and after being interviewed at police headquarters, he was released. Police kept his handgun as part of the investigation.
All right, there's a lot.
There's a lot in there.
There's a lot to unpack in this one. I thought it was funny. The seriously wounded suspect remained at the scene. It's like,
was he going anywhere?
He just wanted to cooperate with the police, wanted to make sure his side of the story got told or something. He must have been injured pretty bad.
Yeah.
His buddies.
Yeah, they run away on each other. They sort of
no honor among thieves. Although they did drop the second wounded off at the hospital. That was nice of them.
Yeah, I was wondering how that happened because I thought he got in the car.
Well, I'm sure, yeah. They shot two people. One probably dropped to the pavement, and the other one they drug into the car or was able to get in the car.
But then he is at the hospital somehow. So.
But I don't know. The way I see this, the moral of the story is don't get between a man and his cherry apple red Corvette.
Did it say it was cherry apple red?
No, I was
gonna say I don't remember.
I added that part.
Yeah.
But hopefully the Corvette was not damaged or injured.
Well, okay, so I had a question that I had understood that you weren't allowed to use lethal force in case of property theft. But apparently a fancy car you can use lethal
carjack. Well, they approached a man with guns in their hands.
So that's why it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why, because he was protecting his own life, not just his Corvette. Although it's possible.
It's like he was protecting his Corvette.
Yeah.
I kind of think if he stood down and take it.
Don't get between a man and his midlife crisis. Don't do that.
But he was a young guy. Maybe I'm getting my stories.
Oh, no, you're right. He was a 24-year-old good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, a young guy.
Yeah, he was young.
He's awful young to be having a Corvette.
Maybe it was his dad's. Maybe that's why. Okay, we're filling in story. No, we don't know.
That could be.
It's feeling kind of bad for him after he got like pretty much at least accosted by these four scary guys.
Yeah.
To take his handgun that he was legally carrying. So, this guy now he's unarmed, walking around.
What was he doing?
At 3:30 in the morning?
Yeah, at 3:30 in the morning on Sunday. Early church service, maybe?
Not on First Avenue. So, I mean, maybe. I guess I don't know what's there.
Well, I think the thing to watch here is it said all of the Washington state gun owners are watching this to see if the prosecutor is going to file charges because the last 5-10 years, it's like Washington state has become a lot more like California, wouldn't you say?
Oh, I'm not watching enough to give you an opinion. Sorry.
But you lived in Washington state for like 4 years.
Sorry, I didn't know anything. So I didn't.
You didn't know anything.
Well,
you knew something. You were going to engineering school.
That's not related to this.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I like they said that King County Prosecutor's Office which historically has never made a wrong call in self-defense shooting. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe on this subject they're
I think
better position.
the concern is they have a newly elected socialist female mayor.
Yeah.
And sometimes the mayor can pressure the prosecutor.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Hopefully that won't happen here. Maybe it won't.
Maybe it won't. Maybe
if it does.
I mean, I don't think anybody is going to like having 4 armed people with masks pull up to them at 3:30. I mean, so this kid is going to have everybody's sympathy. Like,
yeah.
I should think even the women in the area would probably feel the same way. Like that would be very terrifying.
Yeah. Well, hey, the important thing is
twisted by the media.
The kid must be a pretty good shot.
Well, they might have been really close.
2 out of 4.
I'm guessing they were close, but
honey, you cannot slight a man who goes up against 4 armed bad guys
and he
took out 2 of them.
1.5.
and then the other 2 fled. That's the thing.
Yeah, he did good.
You shoot the leader, and the rest usually crumble.
Yeah.
So, hey, this guy, what was this guy? Did it say this guy's name? Well, this 24-year-old good guy from Washington State, from Seattle, he
went down. Good job.
Are you saying he's a vampire?
I don't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, the police responded on the scene. The victim was pale and lacking all blood.
Oh goodness.
I think we're going too far on this
probably.
One. All right.
Okay. Anyway,
all right. Well, he's our hero of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Sarah, what's coming up next?
Next, we're talking with Trevor Degroote. He's the owner of Trinity Training and Security and also a newly published author. Then we'll be talking to the managing partner of shootingclasses.com, Bruce Corey.
Bruce, he's you like Bruce Corey.
Yeah, he's a gentleman.
He's like an older Southern gentleman kind of a type. Yeah. All right. But in the meantime, God bless and stay safe because we will be right back.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Attention business owners. Are you leaving your website open to security issues and hacking due to a lack of maintenance or overseas outsourcing? Don't let that happen to your business. Choose experienced U.S.-based website developers that can customize your website to fit your specific needs. Appletree MediaWorks has been growing businesses online since 2009. With over 80 years of combined experience, their team conducts constant research and development to keep up with ever-changing online threats. Your website deserves the best protection available. Call Appletree MediaWorks today at 877-977-1364 to keep your website secure and grow your business online. Or visit appletree.media.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
In today's world, safety and preparedness are more important than ever. At Trinity Training and Security, we offer comprehensive training for your peace of mind. Whether you're obtaining your concealed pistol license, mastering CPR and first aid, or engaging in scenario-based training, we've got you covered. We look forward to working with you in one of our classes or bringing the class to your church, school, or business. Need security for an event? Protecting your assets? Our team provides private security, close protection, media crew escorts, high security terminations, and more. Always with discretion and professionalism. With Trinity, safety is more than a service. It's a commitment.
They say he eats crayons and his knuckles drag on the ground, but that's only half true. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. Folks, we live in a dangerous world, and I want you to be able to protect and defend the ones you love. And that's why I have this show. It's my way of empowering you to accomplish one of your primary jobs in life. You are a protector and a defender. All right, listeners, before we get too far into the show, don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, ShootingClasses.com, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range, and Apple Tree Media. Without our sponsors, this show wouldn't be on the air, so we thank you all. And now I'd like to welcome back another one of our sponsors, Trevor Degroote from Trinity Training and Security. He's a good friend, an excellent self-defense trainer, but also a newly published author. So, Trevor, welcome back to the Home Defense Show.
Thank you, Skip. Appreciate you having me back.
Hey, not a problem. You must have done something right the first time, huh?
I guess so.
Okay. All right. Well, Trevor, you have a brand new book out. It's like a self-defense book. It's called Prepared to Prevail, a complete guide to living ready in an uncertain world. So you think this world we're living in is uncertain, huh?
I do. I think it's unpredictable, and uncertain's a great word for it. It's what do you think?
I definitely agree with you. I mean, being older, 68 years old, I grew up in an uncertain world. And I remember in the 60s, we had race riots and the Vietnam War and anti-war riots and things like that. And I'm thinking, wow, this is rather precarious. But I think it's gotten worse. It's like more uncertain at a whole new level, uncertain on steroids, I guess. But why did you write this book, Trevor?
And that's kind of to what you were talking about there, where even back then, it's always been uncertain, always been unpredictable. So a lot of these dangers have existed, but I think to your point, it is more prevalent, more, there's a lot less ability for the calling of 911 to solve all the problems, because there's, so many issues. And that's really what led me to write the book, was through teaching classes and with my background in law enforcement and just conversations I've had and things I've seen, is I wanted to put together a book when people see this. To me, this is kind of the classic one of something terrible happens and it hits the news, and then questions start being asked of, where do I start? What do I do? Do I just go down to Bass Pro Shop and buy a gun and then I'm all set? Is there other things that I should think about, consider, do? And that's really where the book came from, was providing a foundational level knowledge of what are some pieces of this self-defense puzzle, starting with why, and then going into some of the things that I believe are essentials of being able to defend yourself and your family.
All right. Well, you've got quite a few chapters. There are 11 chapters plus a conclusion here. What do you think? Well, I guess give me your philosophy on personal home family defense. What is most important in, like, how would you rank that things?
Yeah, honestly, the gear nuts aren't going to love me for this, but I would say that most important is your mindset. I'm sure there's a gear guy out there, and don't get me wrong, I love tools too, but it's really not the gun, it's not the knife, it's not the tourniquet. All important pieces of the puzzle, but it's your mindset, your belief system as to why, and that's what the book opens with too. Is my philosophy on why you would even be willing to defend yourself and somebody else in the first place. Because I think that's a question that really somebody has to, if you ask somebody when can you use force or lethal force, you'll get the legal answer most of the time of, well, if I believe death or grave or great bodily harm, that's the answer you'll typically get. But I think the deeper question that's the most important to be answered and have a true strong footing on is what is deeply personal to you, where you're actually willing to take that action and risk your safety, in a situation or an incident like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. One of the things that I always tell my students is that warrior mindset is the baseline, or one of the baselines of personal defense, because we like the guns and the holsters and our own special ammo and all that stuff. But if you don't have the mindset, the courage, the guts, whatever you want to call it, the determination to prevail and to fight, then guns are useless to you, because you won't be able to even show up for the fight, so to speak. But that chapter 1 is the defender's mind. But that's pretty darn important. I mean, you can when you get in a fight, you're going balls to the wall. Once you determine, yes, I'm going to fight, yes, there is a deadly threat, it's like you pull out all the stops, and it's like you unleash the beast inside you, and a smart beast, but you just do what you have to do. But my students, they just they're all over the board as far as when they are willing to use violence or deadly force. I mean, some will use it to protect only themselves, others to protect a total stranger, and then you have everyone in between. Is that what you've found with your students?
Yeah, for sure. It's not to poke fun at anybody, but I think that's what it comes from, is not really taking that honest look in the mirror of why would you do this? And that's the reason I kind of harp on that so heavy too, is it's because the flip side of it is, if you don't have that question answered, and then, obviously having the skills and abilities to go along with it, but if you don't have that question answered and you've spent, thousands of dollars on classes and trainings and stuff, but when it comes right down to it, you're still trying to answer that question. That's where we get that freeze response. That's where we get hesitation, analysis paralysis, whatever you want to call it. And at that point, it's possibly too late.
Yeah.
And that's my kind of my biggest hurdle that I would love to see people overcome. And yeah, to answer your question, people are all across the board. It's a deeply personal question, because it's messy. I used to say it's not black and white, but I think part of my opinion is there's a piece of it that I think is, and not to spoil chapter 1 too hard, but it's out of a deep love. And I know not everybody, that's not the first thing you think of when you start thinking about, carrying a gun around and defending yourself. But in my opinion, that's truly what it is if you have a deep love and reverence for human life, that's where it has to start. I think it's just very important that people answer that question for themselves well ahead of time, and then through training and rehearsal, they play that out and make it easier for the body to go where the mind's already been.
Yeah, I know chapter 2 is titled "Living Awake." What do you mean by living awake? I think I know, but what do you mean by that?
Yeah, that's where we start digging into situational awareness. where a lot of the world and society, we just kind of float. And maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but that's my opinion, is kind of like a leaf that falls on this time of the year, especially, that falls on the Grand River, and it just makes its way down the river. I think that's how a lot of society moves through the world. Earbuds in, face down in the phone. And so that's what that chapter walks through, is seeing and actually understanding, not only collecting data, but analyzing that data that your eyes, ears, nose, everything is telling you. So that's to put a different word on it, situational awareness is the topic of that chapter.
Yeah. Well, it's so important. It's part of the software of self-defense. And, um, for me personally, I mean, I've carried a gun almost every day for 25 years, and I've never had to draw my gun and point it at another person. Part of that is, a providence, I think, but a big part of it is you can avoid most altercations if you're paying attention. If you see them out in front of you, so that you can avoid it and, get out of the way. But if you got your head in your phone, you are a target, a soft target, so to speak. What are some of the other things that you talk about in your book, Trevor?
Yeah, quite a few different pieces. Everything from that chapter 2 that they're digging into situational awareness, and then on to what I call like functional fitness. Why should we exercise? Why should we eat healthy? How can we look at our lives and our homes? I also talk about like home defense, vehicles, things like that. How do we look at those pieces and decide how to make changes, and what types of adjustments should be made? Do go a little bit into gear and things that are viable options and things to consider, different types of disciplines to train in, whether it's jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. Throw out a lot of options there. I don't play favorites too much. That's really the heartbeat of the book, is to get a lot of this information out there where people can make informed decisions on how to move forward and build that foundation. Yeah, it's a well-rounded look at what are some of the pieces of the puzzle, and where do you go from here, all the way on up through the aftermath. So there's a chapter in there too where it walks through a story, and that's how the chapters are laid out. There's a story that is fact-based but fictional. I don't use real names or details, so there's a story that walks you through an example, and then the informational part of the chapter. And that's another highly important thing to think through, is the aftermath of a self-defense incident and the effects that can have. And I don't want to spoil that story, because that's in my opinion, that's a really good one. Kind of really makes you think, and honestly tugs on the heartstrings a little bit for this fictional character, even where it's
Sure.
So
well, I'm no stranger to fiction. Let's physical fitness. One of the guests that I have on the show every couple of months, he's always telling me a healthy, fit person fights better and is harder to kill. And I found that to be quite true. But, when I look at the composition of my classes, we have, people in their 20s and their 30s who are, most of them, still in pretty good shape, quite frankly, because they haven't had time to get out of shape yet. And their metabolism is still strong and fast. But I have a good deal of people in their, middle-aged and senior citizens who have just let themselves go. And being 68 years old, I perfectly understand. I understand how easy it is to get out of shape. All you have to do is relax and live life. And just because your metabolism is slowing down, gradually, little by little, over the decades, you're going to lose muscle mass. You're going to gain fat. You're going to slump your shoulders. Lose, strength and speed and quickness and all of those things. It's easy to talk to a group of 20-year-olds about physical fitness because they're still physically fit. But when you look out into your classroom and you see people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s who aren't physically fit, it's like I have to tell them how important it is, but I also have to understand that a lot of these people, they will never be physically fit again, either because they've let themselves go too long, or they just don't have the drive to do it. And they look at the gun as like this magic talisman, and that's all they need is the gun. How do you deal with things like that?
Honestly, it's you got to be kind, and I know you are too, but it's just not true. And I think actually Dave Ramsey is one that I really like his way he verbalizes this. Is we always want to be nice, but if and the example I've heard him give that really stuck with me is if you tell somebody they're doing a good job as an employer over and over and over and over again, and they're really not, but you're being nice, and then you let them go, that's not very nice because you didn't give them the opportunity to.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's where, kind of like you said, where in reality, are people going to make that decision to change the lifestyle? Probably not, but I do really try to nudge like, hey, yes, the firearm is a great equalizer where it makes it so that my wife, who's 5 foot tall and let's say 100 pounds, so I don't get myself in trouble, but
good man. That's a good self-defense move right there.
Oh yeah, always shoot low. If you're even going to stick your neck out there, that I shouldn't even make up numbers. But anyways, it does provide the ability for a smaller individual to be able to defend themselves against a larger, stronger, more capable individual. And that is true. But, if you're so out of shape that, as soon as you get that adrenaline dump and your heart rate goes through the roof and you can't think straight, and you can't function, and then you got to move your feet and you're not able to do that, tripping all over the place. And it's just a disaster due to, your fitness level and your ability to handle stress and all that stuff. That's, again, I would hate to see that. And there is incident after incident where that's the case. I mean, even individuals that are defenders for a living get paid to do so in the private security world and law enforcement, you name it. You can find incident after incident. You don't want to pick on them, but the fact of the matter is when you're out of shape, you don't perform as well. So that's my approach, is really just to really encourage people. And that's my goal. Is I'm not here to shame anybody. I'm not here to, beat you down and yell at you and tell you how out of shape you are and that sort of thing. I want to see everybody build better. So it's, even if you've spent 40 years eating McDonald's and Pizza Hut, which trust me, I love pizza too.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think it's too late to change. And even if it's just 1% better, every day or every week or whatever it is, it's a journey. This whole self-defense thing is a journey. It's not, and honestly, I think fitness is a good picture of that, where you're not going to go from 300 pounds to 190 overnight. It's going to be a process. You're going to have to commit to the lifestyle of healthy eating and it might start with walking and then turn into, and it depends. Everybody's different, whether it's walking, running, biking, fitness class, yoga, Pilates, you name it. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and when it comes to that. So encouraging to be better. None of us are ever going to be 110% perfect, but we can always improve for sure.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And here's what I found over the decades. Probably the most important aspect of that, the most important personality trait, is just indomitability. It's like never say surrender when it comes to your physical fitness, because you're going to have periods in your life where you're motivated and you get in shape and you can run 5 miles a day or whatever. But you're going to have other periods in your life where, maybe things aren't going real well for you. You lose your job or whatever. You're a little bit depressed. Exercise during those times is one of the best things for you to do to help you get out of that. but it's also one of the most difficult things to do. Just encouraging people. I mean, I'll be out on the gun range and a guy will have to bend down to pick up an empty magazine, and you can hear him, gasping or groaning because, when you get older, you lose flexibility and it's more difficult to bend down and get things. But, you just have to keep encouraging them over and over and over again, that, hey, you can do this. Start out small. So that's one of the things, Trevor, is when you get older, it's more difficult to get back into shape because your body just can't handle it. And at age 30, it's like you can hurt yourself and bounce back a few days later. But at 50 or 60 or 70, you don't bounce. you stop bouncing, and it might take you 3 to 6 months to bounce back from an injury. So you've got to, when you're older, you got to start out slower and just go gradually. But the important thing is try to be consistent and never, ever, ever give up. So I'm glad you have that attitude about it. You feel sorry for us old men, so that's good.
Yep. Not throwing in the towel, and habitual consistency is huge.
Yeah. All right. Now, before I let you go, Trevor, first, I think you've got plans for other books, do you not?
I do. Yep. I've got a couple that I'm still working on. One that'll be probably coming out soon. I don't want to give a timeline because I learned from the first one that when you think, and thankfully I didn't make promises on a date it was coming out or anything, but internally, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be done by this date. And you know this better than I do, that it's like, all right, now it's gonna be another week, another couple weeks, another month. So
yeah,
there's at least one that will hopefully be available by the end of the year. And then into next year, there's some other projects planned too, some co-author things in the works, and super excited. And even workbooks and other curriculums to go along with some of this stuff. So very, very excited about the opportunity to make some of this information available to people.
That's awesome. Tell us just a little bit about Trinity Training and Security. What are the things that you do?
Yes, at Trinity, we do classes on everything from firearms to medical, CPR, AED, stop the bleed type stuff. We also do scenario-based trainings where we actually get the not live firearms, but training firearms, and the ability to do force-on-force scenarios, and not everything ends in force. We run through de-escalation and verbal scenarios and all that good stuff too. And quite a bit with churches, where we go into churches and help them get their safety or security teams, depending on where you're at. They call them different things. On the security side of the house, that's where we do anything from wedding venues up to executive protection and a private security capacity. So those are kind of the two sides of the house with Trinity.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about uncertainty, prepared to prevail, a complete guide to living ready in an uncertain world, the security business, it's growing, and I think it's going to keep growing because our society has become uncertain and it is getting more uncertain. So, hey, you have that to look for. You're not going to be able to work yourself out of a job, unfortunately.
I don't think so. It's one of those things that when you look at how do you promote safety and well-being, and whether it's you're actually staffing individuals to take care of that in a security context or providing training and information to people, I have not found that need is going to be filled in the near future. And I think you probably haven't either. So it's definitely a need that's going to just continue to grow, I think.
Well, Trevor, before you go, tell people how they can get a hold of this book.
Yeah, it's on Amazon, or we also have a website, preparedtoprevail.com, and that's going to be the hub too. There's daily articles being released on that website as well that you can read daily, and some other resources there. But preparedtoprevail.com or amazon.com if you're just strictly looking for the book.
All right. Awesome. Well, Trevor, thank you very much for everything that you do. And thanks for coming on the show today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Skip.
All right. This is Skip Coryell on the Home Defense Show. Coming up next, we'll be speaking with the managing partner of shootingclasses.com, Bruce Corey, in the shootingclasses.com self-defense report. But during the break, I want you to log into rumble.com and search on the Home Defense Show. I've posted a series of entertaining and educational videos there just for you. Check them out and don't forget to like, share, and follow. God bless and stay safe, because we will be right back.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
At Center Shot Gun Range, we are passionate about training. Don't know where to start? We offer a 1-hour new shooter seminar to introduce you to the world of firearms and help you find training opportunities specific to you. Concealed carry, home defense, firearm safety, AR-15, private one-on-one training, custom training, or maybe you're on a security team looking to protect your church or business. We even offer weekday morning and evening classes. Center Shot Gun Range has you covered. Start your journey at centershotgunrange.com.
Firearms training should be easy. Instructors can focus on teaching and not worry about all the complex paperwork and management behind the scenes. Just pull the trigger and let us do the administrative work. Welcome to shootingclasses.com.
Attention business owners. Are you leaving your website open to security issues and hacking due to a lack of maintenance or overseas outsourcing? Don't let that happen to your business. Choose experienced U.S.-based website developers that can customize your website to fit your specific needs. Appletree MediaWorks has been growing businesses online since 2009. With over 80 years of combined experience, their team conducts constant research and development to keep up with ever-changing online threats. Your website deserves the best protection available. Call Appletree MediaWorks today at 877-977-1364 to keep your website secure and grow your business online. Or visit appletree.media.
Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If this sounds good to you, you sound good to me. And I'd like to help you do those things. Avoid danger, save lives, and keep your loved ones safe. If you're looking for more excitement in your life, we have nothing to offer you. But if you are a thoughtful, responsible, nonviolent man or woman, we'd love to teach you what to do if something crazy happens. More importantly, we'd like to teach you what not to do. We currently have over 500,000 members. They are doctors and single moms and firemen and grandmothers and veterans and Democrats and Republicans and members of every faith. But the one thing they all have in common is that they know exactly what to do if something crazy happens. When you're with one of our members, you are safe. Our members know how to de-escalate situations. They know how to calm things down. We are the United States Concealed Carry Association. See what we're all about at usconcealedcarry.com.
Discover the little-known backstory of the U.S. Concealed Carry Association at usconcealedcarry.com.
He's old. He's cranky, his back hurts, and he can't remember where he put his car keys. But his mother still loves him. Welcome back to the Home Defense Show with Skip Coryell.
And that was the beautiful and sultry voice of Golden Glenn, the official announcer of the Home Defense Show. And I'm your host, Skip Coryell. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, United States Concealed Carry Association, shootingclasses.com, Appletree Media, and Center Shot Indoor Gun Range for all your training and equipment needs. And now it's time for our weekly self-defense report, sponsored by shootingclasses.com. And today we're speaking with my good friend, Bruce Corey, the managing partner of shootingclasses.com. Bruce, thanks for coming back on the Home Defense Show today.
Oh, thank you, Skip. It's good to be back again.
Yeah. I like to talk with you every couple of months on the show because we're friends, but how often do we actually see each other? Not very often, right?
I would like to say once a year, but in the past couple of years, that's actually slipped as well. So we got to do something about that.
Yes, we do. My wife and I, we're working towards that goal right now because, with the Home Defense Show, I get to know good people all over the country.
Yep.
But, it's like I talk to them on the phone or email or text or whatever, or on the show. but I don't ever get to see them in person. So a year and a half ago, Sara and I, we bought a school bus, and we gutted the whole thing. We turned it into a motor home, and we just got it licensed and registered and all of that. And we're getting ready to make our first journey of about 600 miles on this motor home. And
what directions you headed?
Northwest Wisconsin.
Okay.
It's going to be cold, but the way we set this up, it's supposed to be a 4-season motorhome.
Yeah.
But I'll let you know. We'll find out, right?
Well, you're going to challenge it right off the bat.
Well, it's like, the Titanic's maiden voyage didn't turn out so good. I would prefer to go south on the maiden voyage, but the thing is, my oldest daughter, she's scheduled to have a C-section over Thanksgiving, and she has 9 children already.
Wow.
So yeah, Grandma and Grandpa are going to go over there, and we're gonna watch the 9 kids while Mom and Dad are at the hospital, getting baby number 10. So, I'm tired just talking about it, Bruce.
And how young is the youngest one?
The youngest one that they have now, about 2 years. About 2 years. So they're like 2 years to 14 years.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. We went out to Colorado to see our great granddaughters, and the youngest one is just turned 2 here at the beginning of this month. And it's just interesting kind of doing a visit and at the same time being a babysitter for kids that little.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, do you remember Desitin?
Oh, yeah.
Diaper rash. I mean, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yep.
Well,
That's good.
It's different. It's different when you're older. I mean, I have 20 grandkids. I don't have any great grandchildren like you, but it's in my future, and I'm hopeful for that. But I don't know.
Well,
Actually, that transitions into our topic today. But before we go there, Bruce, why don't you tell us what's going on over at shootingclasses.com?
oh gosh. Well, it's just like our topic. Things are always changing.
Yeah.
And obviously for the better. We work very hard to make things for the better. But we're getting ready to launch a new change that I don't think affects you this coming Tuesday. But we have a lot of instructors who, I mean, there's over 50 different types of classes that instructors can say, yes, this course that I teach, this type, and this type apply. Maybe it's NRA, maybe it's USCCA, maybe it's basic, maybe it's women's only. There's, all these topics that can apply. So when a student's going in and searching for a class that they want to take, they can filter to find just what they want. And unfortunately, we've got a lot of instructors who kind of get happy with checking the boxes. And it can be frustrating to some students when they're going in, they're looking for a specific type of class that they want to take, a specific course, and they see all these others pop up that really are not relative to what they want. So we're going to make a change, and it's ready to go. It's actually going to get deployed next Tuesday. But we're now going to, when an instructor goes to their courses, they're going to determine what the environment is for the course. Is it an in-person course? Is it a online only course, or is it a partial online with partial in-person? So they're going to now decide on each one of their courses. And I think that's going to go a long ways to helping define, when a student's searching, what am I looking for, and am I really going to find what I'm looking for?
Yeah. Well, and Bruce, that's one of the things that makes shootingclasses.com such a great platform, is because I know how hard you guys work to make the experience better for not just instructors, but also for students as well. So I kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's amazing. So, I mean, I went through every one of our instructors, all the courses that they teach. Fortunately, with the help of our web guy, he could created some good spreadsheets for me to be able to see all these details. But it's amazing how many instructors actually do teach online courses and some really good online courses. And we've got a lot of instructors who do a course that's partially done online and then an in-person classroom range time. So I think it's going to go a long ways to help everybody out, students and instructors.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think with the younger crowd coming up, they're very comfortable online, certainly more comfortable than you and I have ever been. So it's the future, I think.
Yeah. And we've got some instructors like Brian and Shelley Hill, the complete combatant. They really make their online courses very interactive. They do actually a phenomenal job of how they do it. So I'm looking forward to these changes, making life a lot better for both instructors and students.
Awesome. All right. And you can go to shootingclasses.com to check that out. Okay. All right, Bruce. Um, we are officially senior citizens. Is that the correct term for us now or not?
Well, I'm going to go with that because
Okay.
I just turned 77 this week. So that means I'm not that far away from being an octogenarian. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going
yeah, yeah. Well, I've been called worse. So so we'll go with senior citizens.
yeah.
You're 77 and I'm 68. So we're definitely there's more road behind us than in front of us, if you want to put it that way.
Well, I like to say we're still in the prime of our life.
That's well, okay. Well, and what sometimes if a young person ever, disparages my age, I'll just say, hey, if this were a race, I'd be ahead of you. So,
Yeah.
but
We
anyways,
used to look at as kids and we would think 50 was old, and then
yeah,
all of
yeah,
a sudden
yeah.
60 was old, and now 70 is older, and it keeps moving.
I know, I know. Well, remember back in the 1960s, right? There was that saying, never trust anyone over 30. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
But yeah, well, all right. What I want to talk about, Bruce, is I guess personal defense, home defense, it changes as you age. I mean, because everything else about you is changing. I mean, your body's changing. It's like I'll joke with people, yeah, yeah, my body's going to hell in a handbasket. But everything changes. Talk about some of the things that have changed for you and how you've had to modify things or alter your personal defense plan.
Changes are both physical and a lot of environmental changes, and then also just the things that happen around you that affect your attitude and how you change. But physically, obviously, I shoot all the time, and most of the people that I shoot with, in fact, almost all, are at least my kids' age or younger.
Hmm.
So it's tough to compete as far as
Yes, yes.
physical speed, but also you realize as you get older, you don't think as quick as fast as you used to.
Yeah.
It might take that split second longer to make a decision than what it did years ago. So there's all kinds of things that affect. So what I try to do, and I've started this, we've got a new guy that moved in, and he's not too far off my age, but he's a former Marine. He was a Marine pilot. He's very
Oorah,
active.
oorah.
And so he's talked me into, we get together every single week, aside from all the other shooting that we do as a group, just him and I have been going shooting, and we're running different drills for quickness of transition, speed of movement, and just to get ourselves back. We've set goals. Here's our times that we did this last. What's our goal to be at by springtime?
Hmm.
And so, that's personal thing that I'm doing is to saying, how do I get myself into better shape, and how do I get myself to have quicker reaction times, make first shot a good hit every time, and things like that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I'll run across students in my class, and they'll have well, it's kind of a tremor that they have, and
Yeah,
their hands and the gun is shaking.
yeah.
I don't have that yet, but if you live long enough, things like that are going to happen, and that's a real challenge. Have you ever had any problems or seen guys with problems like that? And how can you overcome that?
So actually, I do. And where I notice it most is when I'm eating, and I go to pick
Mm.
up that fork of food, and I'll see my hands starting to shake a little. But I know, like when I'm gripping the gun and I got a tight grip, then the shake is not a problem.
Mm.
But you know things like that are creeping in. So you just do your best to be aware and do whatever you can do to offset it.
Yeah. So eating with chopsticks, that's kind of out the window for you now?
Well, I do like Chinese, but I pretty much eat it with a fork.
Yeah. I eat it with a large spoon, okay? Yeah, well, what about eyesight? Because eyesight is
Oh,
becoming a real challenge for me, Bruce.
so interesting that you say that. I had cataracts removed probably 10 years ago, and I had multifocal lenses put in when I did it. It was kind of expensive to do, but it was very good because it gave me good perception up close and at a distance. But I still notice that as each year passes, my eyesight still gets worse and worse.
Yeah.
And yeah, interesting that you mentioned that.
Mhm.
I just had an eye test here 2 weeks ago, and I'm diabetic, among other things, but I'm well controlled. So I was kind of surprised because every time I get a test, they tell me that there's no diabetic disease within my eyes. And this time, they told me my right eye was had a blip in it. Had so I had to go see a retina specialist yesterday, and at the end of the day, he did a laser treatment on it, which hopefully I got to go back in 4 months, but hopefully that's taken care of.
Mm.
But I guess the best thing I can say there is as you get older, get good health checkups and make sure you get ahead of things instead of letting them get the best of you.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. One thing that has really helped me out is when I moved to an optic a couple of years back, because I noticed that the front sight, it's like I'm used to seeing a front sight with very crisp, straight lines and corners,
Yeah.
and the front sight was just kind of blurry and fuzzy around the edges, and that made it harder to be more precise, and it was worse in low light conditions
Yeah.
and at longer distances, like going out 25 yards or so.
Yeah.
And but that the optic has really helped me out a lot. Have you gone to an optic, or are you still with iron sights?
Well, I do a little bit of iron, but 90% of what I do is optic. I went to a red dot probably 4 years ago, and I absolutely love it. I look at a red dot as you hear all these people talk about how difficult it is to learn to red dot. You need this, that, or the other. And I never had a problem. And I think it really comes down to, do you have good fundamentals? In other words,
Yeah.
is your presentation of that firearm such that you always have a good sight picture, just automatic? And I never had a problem with the dot. The dot's always been there for me. And I've got to say, I've had a couple different dots that I started out with, but I went to Hollison's, and I just love Hollison because of the fact you can use the circle, the dot, or the combination of both. And depending upon what I'm shooting, if it's a precision match that we're doing, I'll use just the dot. But if it's anything else, I'll use the circle because it's such quick acquisition. It's been kind of nice throughout life. A lot of things that I've experienced, some of the different medications and technologies have been just ahead of me, so it's been good timing. And I
There
think the
you go.
dot was one of those things was very good timing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I've got several optics. I've got a Vortex, and that's okay. I
Yeah.
have a Holosun. The that I like. I like that, but I also have a problem with astigmatism,
Yes.
where some people see a perfect circle. I
Hmm.
see the Star of Bethlehem. Okay.
Yes.
um,
Yeah.
but I've noticed that with my Trigicon, it's more of a circle and less than a star.
Yeah.
And I think it's just different for everybody. Don't you?
No, that's interesting because one of the guys that I shoot with, he's the same way. He has astigmatism, so the circle is that blurriness.
Yeah.
So you just kind of compensate for it.
Yeah. Well, if I wanted blurry, I'd stay with the iron sights, because those are already blurry. But I remember when I first started out with the optic, I was using it. I didn't know it was supposed to be a perfect circle because all I saw was a star until
Ah,
I'm online, I'm reading, I'm watching YouTube videos, and through the research I found that if you take your cell phone and you put it on picture and look at it through your cell phone
hmm.
camera, it to me it looks like a perfect circle, and I thought, wow, that is so cool. But it's not going to happen with me.
No.
But like you said, you compensate, right? So I take the star and I put the star, where I want it to hit. It's just a little more difficult to be as precise as I want to be, is all.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this, when I had my cataract surgery, I had stigmatism in both eyes at that time, and they took care of that. And I'm not sure if it was through this taking removing the cataracts or in the lenses that they put in, but I do remember because like this has been, gosh, I think 10 years ago. I had to go back and probably 6 months after the new lenses were put in, they did a laser treatment on my eyes where they just go in and just fine tune things. So I don't know where you are as far as potentially developing cataracts or not, but definitely if you're ever getting to that point, you definitely want them to have them address the stigmatism.
Okay. Yeah, while they're under the hood, they might as well fix everything, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, another challenge that I have, Bruce, probably more than my eyesight, is my hearing. Um, it's like my wife says I have selective hearing loss, but it's more than that. I've just spent so much time out on the gun range that, and here's my biggest problem. You and I can hear you just fine. If we're in a room and there's no one else in the room, I can hear you just fine. But
Yeah.
if we're in a crowded room, I can't separate out the sounds. Is that a problem for you or not?
Oh, boy, you're just hitting on all my bad points, aren't
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I'm thinking if we ever talked about this or not, but a little over a year ago, I actually had surgery to have an input plan in my head because my right ear is 100% deaf. So
Okay.
with this implant, it now hears and it picks up, creates digital signals and sends them to the cochlea in my head, which talks to the brain. So I've got one ear that wears a hearing aid that doesn't hear all that well, but it does have a hearing aid. So it hears analog. My other ear that I had the surgery on, it hears digital.
Hmm.
So even with all this, if just like you said, if I go out to lunch with the guys in a room with people, I don't hear what's going on because it just all washes together. I can
Yeah.
hear it, I just can't understand it because it all washes together. So one of the big benefits is like right now, I'm listening to you through Bluetooth. I've got this little microphone that I set in front of my laptop. It picks it up and it converts it and now sends it to this cochlear implant and to my hearing aid so that I can hear you just fine.
Well, it, if you live long enough, you're going to have these problems, and that this really living long enough for your body to wear out.
Yeah.
that's the best case scenario, right?
Well, yeah.
But
But like I say, I've always been happy that it seems like at every stage of my life, there's been a technology there that says, we can do this for you.
yeah, yeah, and hearing and eyesight, that's really important for personal defense because, it's like situational awareness. It's
Yep.
like, yeah, that's important, and we're doing the best we can. But if you can't see what's happening
Yeah.
clearly,
Yeah.
then how can you make good decisions? So, especially at night, I've noticed that my night vision isn't as good as it used to be. So, I kind of limit when I go out at night. I try and do things during the daytime more, just because I think it's safer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a guy's walking out of Walmart and he's coming towards me in a dark parking lot, and I'm looking and I'm going, okay, he's either carrying an AR-15 or a salami. I'm not sure which one it is.
But I'm going to shoot him just in case.
Yeah, that's right. Uh, but and young people don't understand this,
No.
understandably, because they're 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and nothing bad has ever happened to them before. They've got the metabolism of a rabbit, and they can eat anything and do whatever they want with impunity, and
Yeah.
at least for the first 10, 20 years,
Yeah.
and then things happen. And what I do in my classes, Bruce, is, and I'm having an overwhelming response with young people. And by young people, I mean, under 50. Okay. Um,
Yeah.
but I get a lot of my last 4 or 5 classes. Half my class were in their 20s, maybe early 30s. And, what I tell them is I say, listen, you're in good shape now, but that's because you haven't had time to get out of shape and you still have a really healthy metabolism.
Yeah.
Create good exercise and eating habits now, because it'll pay off large dividends when you get into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond.
Yep. Absolutely.
But
Two things that we just didn't realize growing up. It's like hearing, you never thought
yeah,
about putting on any type of ear protection, out mowing the lawn, riding the tractor, doing the chainsaw, things like that, that
yeah,
even shooting a 22, because back then as kids, 18 years old, I was out shooting a 22 a lot, didn't wear headgear.
yeah.
So at least awareness today is much, much better.
Yeah, well, I hadn't even heard of the concept of hearing protection until I got in the Marine Corps, and they made us wear it on the range. But I thought it was kind of stupid. I go, why do I need this for? I can hear just fine, which
Yeah.
is the way 18-year-olds think.
Yeah.
But Bruce, we're about out of time here. Time flies, right? Tempus fugit.
It
But
does.
is there anything big that we've missed? I know you could go on forever, but is there anything major that we've missed?
Well, we touched on all the personal things that relate to self-defense in the past 30 years. But when you mentioned this to me, and I started to think about, we tend to live in the moment. We don't think about what all's happened throughout the past or what's going to happen in the future. And I just started making a list of all the things that I have seen change over the years.
Hmm.
And I'll just hit the highlight topics without going into any details. But just people's opinions about guns, self-defense, and training has drastically changed. Awareness, the things that we have available to us to know more about it. Politics has certainly changed. How people look at crime, looting, and burning that's going on today. These district attorneys we have that are soft on crime, no cash bails. It's just crazy. Um, Gosh, and availability of training has really affected self-defense. You just look at how many classes are available, things like YouTube videos, training tools, cert pistols, laser ammo, Manus, things that we never had, 20, 30 years ago. So, I mean, I could go on and on. There was just lots of things I thought about that really still affected how we think about training.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that young people don't see that you and I see is that they don't really have anything to compare their present life to, because it's like, okay, I'm 18 years old. It's always been this way, but that's just not true.
No.
One thing that you and I have, we have perspective, because we can go back a half a century and think, it didn't used to be this way. I mean, we didn't, just think back 10 years, Bruce. If I were to say these phrases to you 10 years ago, you would look at me like, what are you talking about? If I would say street takeovers, mob beatdowns, the knockout game, it's like, there's always been bad things happening, but it's like we're taking it to an art form now in very creative ways. And thank God that we do have all of the training opportunities that we have now, and places like shootingclasses.com, because we need to be able to protect ourselves. We need to be, at the top of our game while we're in our 60s and 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Well, that's like they say, when seconds count, police are only minutes away. So you better learn to take care of yourself.
For sure. All right. Well, hey, Bruce, we have taken a stroll through memory lane, for which I appreciate. And I look forward to seeing you in person again, and we can share our health plans and our meds and operations and all of that stuff. Okay.
All right. Sounds good, Skip. Thanks for having me back on.
Hey, you are so welcome. Everybody, make sure you go to shootingclasses.com and check that out, because you're going to find the best training in the country right there. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Skip. Take care.
All right, folks, that about wraps it up for this week's show. I've had a good time, and I hope you have too. Please don't forget to thank our sponsors, Center Shot Indoor Gun Range at centershotgunrange.com, shootingclasses.com to help you find the right trainer for your needs, Apple Tree Media for website security, and the United States Concealed Carry Association. For all your self-defense needs, go to uscca.com. All right, folks, I've written 20-plus books, and they're all available on Amazon.com in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. This week, check out my hunting novel, Bond of Unseen Blood. I think you'll like it. And also check out the Home Defense Show videos on rumble.com. And if you want training from me in person, then check out Midwest Tactical Training at shootingclasses.com. Please join us again next week for all your home defense needs. In the meantime, God bless and stay safe.
Thank you for joining us this week on the Home Defense Show. Now, get out there and protect the ones you love. We'll see you next week with more of the best.
Bye-bye, boys!
Have fun storming the castle!